So are they making big bucks? I mean, we're talking the Lindsay Lohans?
Oh gosh, no. Oh gosh, no.
No. Driving Ferraris, living up in the
The margins are hugely overestimated. Of all the numbers that are wacky that I see, the margin numbers are the craziest ones. Actually, the margins at almost all levels, except maybe retail, where the margins I think are still kind of good. The margins for producers are generally very slim. The margins for distributors are pretty slim. The margins for performers have improved, not much for crews. Margins for male performers have improved considerably, and for female performers
40%.
quite a bit.
Yeah.
But overall,
you can't work 5 days a week.
Right.
I mean, you'd go crazy, even if your body could withstand the sheer tedium and repetition of what we do,
which is not recommended.
The mental annoyance of being on a set, more than for me, 2 days a week is all I can handle before I want to kill somebody. And when you're brand new, this is the problem with burnout. When a young woman comes in, she's brand new. We always tell her, work as little as you possibly can, but they get all this attention and you get so much money, and so they work 20 days 2 months in a row, and they have all this money and they're completely burnt out. They end up spending the money on feel-good things because they're just so stressed, empty, totally worn out, that they blow all the money instead of working 2 days a week and just, But again, we're talking about a population of 18 to 25-year-old young people who are invincible.
Very impressionable.
Very impressionable. They're competitive, they're ambitious, and they want to succeed. They want to stand out from the crowd. And I don't know.
they want to be Jenna.
Which is never going to happen. And I don't know about you, any of you, when you were 19 years old, nobody my age could tell you nothing. And even though I can say, we've been here for 23 years, since before you were born, and we've seen them come and we've seen them go. Sweetheart, don't go down. Don't take the left fork. No, wait. Oh, jeez. And they take the left fork because they're 19 and they have a hard time sometimes judging consequences. But the crew members, they can work for years and years and years and years and years because they're behind the camera, and they can and do work 5 and 6 days a week.
You told me when we spoke earlier that at least in your estimation, that the average person employed by the adult film industry makes about $60,000 a year.
I don't think that came from me.
It came from you?
But it's pretty good.
No, okay, maybe I made it up.
I don't know where that is. No,
You're averaging out talent and crew?
Average out talent and crew.
Talent or crew?
That sounds about right. I mean, it's absolutely, talk about guesswork, but yeah. Again, I mean,
well, what would you estimate it?
And no residuals. Remember that. That's also a myth.
There are no residuals.
No health plan.
With a few exceptions.
No retirement. We're all independent.
So there are no benefits because, again, they're contractors rather than employees, with a few exceptions. And so I would say that $60,000 a year would depend on who you were talking about. A much desired new female performer might command $1,500 for a few hours worth of services, whereas somebody who's been around for a while, that might drop down considerably. It might drop down to half that. A crew member, a skilled camera operator, might get between $500 and $700 a day and might be able to work 5 days a week. So it's hard to come up with a number that applies across the board. There are so many different occupational categories here.
And production assistants,
it's almost
a day.
like when a talent member. I know when I was working, you charged a flat rate per day, whether you were having sex or you're having dialogue. And some days it took weeks to shoot the movies, but now, of course, in this time where it can take only 1 day to shoot a movie, I noticed a lot of the young ladies. It's almost like a Chinese menu,
right?
One from column A, one from column B.
Yeah.
It's divided up into body part, sex act, and
partner,
and partner, and how long you're going to be there. So people, if a girl comes in and does a single girl scene, she is paid a certain amount of money. If it's a straight boy-girl scene, it's a certain amount of money. If you throw a girl into that and have it a girl-boy scene, the rate goes up. If you throw an anal sex act into that, then the rate goes up from there. So they're negotiating per body part, per sex act, per partner, per...
So are these SAG rules, or...
Well, you could say that.
Well, that's a good question.
I was just about to go there.
SAG said no to us 34 years ago.
Yeah. Well, tell us more.
I wasn't making porn then. I was only 13. However, I have a little history. I know back in 1972, during the era of porno chic, Deep Throat, and when really classy people publicly went to adult theaters and watched an adult movie. It was very popular.
They were reviewed in the New Yorker back then.
Pauline Kael.
Pauline Kael reviewed.
And they were shot on film, etc. I think the adult industry approached SAG and asked to be brought in to the union, and they said, please, we think not. And so to this day, we're independent contractors. And one thing you have to remember about adult entertainment work in front of the camera, it's highly paid blue-collar labor.